or at least the office of the Vice President, mas dedepensahan pa nila, no, yung precisely isang tao na accused of the worst crimes against the most vulnerable of our society.
Ako po ay nakikiisa sa panawagan ng pagpapairal ng batas at katarungan sa hinaharap na isyu ni Pastor Apollo Kibuloy at ng Sunshine Media Network Incorporated.
Dapat depensahan yung mga babae na paulit-ulit ginagahasa in the belief foisted upon them na sakripisyo nila yon for the so-called the self-appointed Son of God.
Sa mga ginagawang pagdinig ay tila pinatawan na ng guilty verdict si Pastor Kibuloy kahit na nakabatay lamang ang pagdinig na ito sa mga paratang ng mga testigo na nagkukubli ng kanilang katauhan at hindi mapatunayan ang kredibilidad.
So dapat sana pagdepensa sa mga kababayang iyon.
Marami sa atin ang naniniwala na ang dinaranas ngayon ni Pastor Kibuloy ay isang pandarahas at hindi patas.
Marami pang ibang problema, no? Instead of at such a high office of the government defending someone who over time sa kanyang pag-iwas sa pagharap sa investigasyon, hindi pagbigay ng maayos na sagot, pagtatago, paglabas ng sabi ko, out of this world na mga kondisyones. So someone who over time seems less and less to deserve that kind of high defense.
Bukod sa hearing na walang pinatutunguhan, ay kabilang rin dito ang indefinite suspension ng broadcasting network na SMNI na isang issue ng media freedom. Hindi biro ang mga pangyayari at paratang na ganito. Nararapat lamang na mabigyan ng patas na laban at sa tamang korte. Ika nga sa Mateo chapter 5 verses 11 to 12. Pinagpala ang mga nilalait at inuusig ng mga tao at pinaparatangan ng lahat ng uri ng kasamaan na pawang kasinungalingan ng dahil sa akin. Magsaya kayo at maggalak sapagkat malaki ang inyong gantimpala sa langit. Alalahanin ninyong inuusig din ang mga propetang nauna sa inyo. Sana po ay maging gabay natin ang mga bersikulong ito patungo sa kaginhawaan at mabigyan tayo ng tibay ng loob sa pagharap sa mga pagsubok, pagtitiis at pag-uusig ngayon. Lagi po tayong manalangin para sa hustisya at katotohanan. Justice and the truth cannot be achieved in trial by publicity, but by a day in court.
Well, I'm just glad na yung majority ng mga kasama ko sa Senado upheld my ruling citing Kibuloy in contempt. And that has paved the way for this show cause order na una nating pinag-usapan, Karen, na pinirmahan namin ni Senate President Mig Zubiri and umaandar na ngayong 48-hour period. Pero nakapagtataka kapag ang administrasyon or at least the office of the Vice President mas dedepensahan pa nila, no, yung precisely isang tao na accused of the worst crimes against the most vulnerable of our society. Dapat sana yung energy na yan ibuhos na lang nila sa pagdepensa sa mga karapatan ng ating mga mamamayan, precisely children forced to beg, OFWs like Reynita forced to give up their hard-earned remittances para suportahan yung lavish lifestyle ni Kibuloy sa halip na ipadala sa kanilang mga pamilya. For one, Reynita lost her house here in the Philippines dahil hindi na niya mabayaran yung mortgage. Dapat depensahan yung mga babae na paulit-ulit ginagahasa in the belief foisted upon them na sakripisyo nila yon for the so-called the self-appointed Son of God. So dapat sana pagdepensa sa mga kababayang iyon, pagdepensa sa soberanya natin sa West Philippines at marami pang ibang problema, no? Instead of at such a high office of the government defending someone who over time sa kanyang pag-iwas sa pagharap sa investigasyon, hindi pagbigay ng maayos na sagot, pagtatago, paglabas ng sabi ko, out of this world na mga kondisyones. So someone who over time seems less and less to deserve that kind of high defense. I really thank them for their firm stand upholding the speaking of truth and the seeking of justice of all the victim survivors, lalo na yung mga kabaro natin at yung mga minor de edad. Altogether, we prove once again that the Senate can cross party lines and stand up as an institution for the rights and welfare of the most vulnerable. Nagpapasalamat talaga ako sa kanila. That's a serious option for our government because we actually have an extradition treaty between the Philippines and the United States. So if and when an extradition request will come from the US, option talaga ng gobyerno natin na at some point or other to send him to the US to also face the cases there. Of course, ang isa pang magandang development dito, Karen, naghain na ng mga kaso ang Department of Justice with the assistance of the Solicitor General laban kay Quiboloy on 2 of the 3 cases na hinain sa kanya sa Davao, dinismiss doon, pero inelevate nung complainant sa DOJ. The 2 cases that DOJ has now filed involve child abuse and oh my goodness, my memory is failing me right now, but there is also a 3rd case. Oh, that's right, salamat.
Okay. Human trafficking. Yes.
So yun yung dalawang kasong umaandar na dito sa Philippine court. So if and when that US extradition request is received by our government, then pwede silang mag-decide. Itutuloy muna ba yung mga kaso dito or ipadadala na muna siya sa US under extradition, or tapusin muna yung mga kaso dito saka i-extradite. But at least nung itinanong namin yung isyung iyan, I think second to the most recent hearing, nakapagsalita ang DOJ sa ganung mga options. So at least they're already thinking about or preparing for the eventuality of an extradition request. Actually, no shortcuts at all, but I believe no leeway either. The Senate has simply followed our rules. Simpleng ine-exercise namin yung aming mandato at yung aming mga kapangyarihan under the law and under our rules to, and even the Supreme Court has spoken on this, na to compel the appearance of witnesses in proper investigations of resolutions with a legislative intent. Wala pong paglabag sa due process kay Pastor Quiboloy. Wala pong pagpapaimportante ng Senado over other institutions or even branches of government. And again, the Supreme Court has spoken on that point. Actually, Quiboloy dug his own grave. Imagine, pinadala namin siya ng hindi nga isa lamang, 2 imbitasyon. Nung dinedma niya yung mga yon, saka kami nag-issue ng subpoena. At nung dinedma pa niya yon, saka kami may show cause order kung ba't hindi siya dapat arestuhin. He has 2 full days to simply communicate to us a good enough reason why he should not be arrested. At ang daming ibang mga resource person, including officials of state and church, na humarap sa Senate hearings in aid of legislation. So, diba, hindi siya naiiba sa kahit sinong mamamayan ng Pilipinas. All of us who are accountable to our laws. Opo, hindi pa nga umaabot sa ganyan si Pastor, and at least in the case of those citizens, they actually attended at least 1 hearing. Si Quiboloy, hindi pa nga nag-a-attend kung ano-ano ng mga demands, kondisyones. Sabi ko nga, yung 17 conditions niya na lumabas sa kanilang mga social media platforms, daig pa ang 10 utos ng Diyos. Whereas citizens, countless citizens by now and counting, have simply respected the Senate, respected its processes, and made themselves available. Siya itong playing super hard to get talaga. And it
Oo.
has been in many cases in the past. And in fact, kahit habang tumatakbo pa ang hearing, there have been times, for example, in our Senate Committee on Women Investigation of POGO-related crimes against women and others, naglunsad na rin ng parallel investigations yung mga investigative and law enforcement agencies natin. And they have, even during the Senate hearings, already impose disciplinary actions against those they found and proved to be guilty. Of course, in principle, in both. But the second effect, it's not for the Senate to establish his innocence or guilt in terms of those crimes or to impose a sentence. It's really on our courts. But the first purpose is squarely within our mandate. At nasabi ko na rin sa opening statement ko sa most recent hearing, there are emerging already at least 3 areas of legislation that our hearing will surely be able to address sa aming committee report sa findings and recommendations. Isa na doon yung sexual abuse within secretive religious organizations and issue of consent in faith-based dynamics. Matatanong kasi natin, merong bang meaningful consent kapag yung babae o yung menor de edad is isolated, is controlled in his or her physical and psychological situation, and then is placed in the position to sacrifice herself, her body even, to someone claiming to be the appointed son of God. So anong areas, anong amendments sa ating mga batas ang kakailanganin to protect still the rights and welfare of a woman or a person in that situation? Isa pang emerging area for corrective legislation, the inability of our labor laws to sufficiently address voluntary labor arrangements where there are no clear employee-employee relationships, but clear violations of labor and occupational and safety health standards. We talked about Elias Rene, even SSS and DOLE could not determine what category of worker he belonged to.